Welcome everyone to the first of 12 lessons that will change your relationship with food and weight forever. I would advise you to grab a pen and paper because I'm going to share insightful and very important information so you will know what's going on inside your body. Don't miss any lesson because each one gives you a piece of the puzzle. Then at the end you have the full picture. I have chosen to join Visalis because I feel they represent life transformation. It's not just a business opportunity. It's a chance to become part of a global community of change. They are committed to providing products and support, and I am committed to doing my bit in helping them in achieving their goal. Change your food, change your life. Here you see a typical Mediterranean diet. It was considered the healthiest diet in Europe, with lots of fresh vegetables and fruits and herbs. But with the introduction of foods like pizza and pasta, obesity, diabetes and heart disease is on the increase. Today, we are trying to tell you that the reason why traditional diets don't work, in fact 95% of diets do not work, and that is because the makers focus too much on the food and not enough on the inner motivation of the individual. And it is why are you overeating, not what. Diets fail because people are ashamed of their eating habits. They also don't know what's causing the overweight, and they don't know what's going on inside. They're told what to eat, but they don't know why. And they often hide behind words such as, oh, every little bite I eat makes me fat, or, oh, I'm a big bone guy, which is the reason that I'm overweight. Or we turn to comfort foods like chocolate, cheese, or sugar, because we're feeling scared, stressed, or not getting enough love and attention. The best thing you can do is not hide these things and share these problems with others that you love and trust. The weight loss problem falls in the same category as these listed on the screen. And the best thing you could do for yourself is to become more conscious of your eating habits and other habits and their source. With these lessons, I am going to teach you how to do this. Taking medication is not the way to health, unless prescribed by your doctor, but eating healthy certainly is. As Hippocrates said 4,000 years ago, let food be your medicine, not medicine your food. Everyone is different, and foods that's good for one person can be poison for another. It's called bio-individuality. Before 1980, diabetes was rare in Japan. After 1980, after the introduction of the US diet, obesity was on the increase due to fatty foods. So rice does not cause diabetes. So the huge increase in intake of food after 1980 in Japan was chicken. In the US, 1 million chickens are eaten every hour. As you can see from this graph, the body mass index of Japanese men in the last 20 years has shot up, and it's also increasing to this day. It's an epidemic. And as you can see from this slide, the same thing is happening with diabetes. They are predicting that in 2030, children will be dying of diabetes before their parents. It's going to be the first generation of children that will die from these diseases before their parents. So everyone, it's time for us all to wake up and smell the coffee, as they say. It's time for us to take responsibility for our own bodies and also what we put into our bodies, and that will also help you change the diets of your children and the family around you. And it's also about finding balance in your life. This is a typical example of a plant-based plate of food that you would eat in the evening, in your evening meal. It's called the Power Plate. And there was a test done on women who were postmenopausal and overweight, and they ate from this Power Plate. That included vegetables, fruit, beans, peas, lentils, no animal products, and low on the fat. When they completed it after a week, they met up together, and every week they shared their goals and what they had achieved. After 12 weeks, the average person had lost an average of 7 kilos, and they were thinner after a year. But the best part is that they stayed thin. It was a permanent change. And this is what I am going to create with these 12 lessons, a permanent change. Foods can be very addictive. I'm going to explain to you in further lessons how that happens and how to get off your addiction. But one example of an addictive food is cheese. It is 70% fat and it is mostly saturated. It raises cholesterol and it clogs your arteries. You can compare it to Vaseline. We are eating today in a way we have never done before. It's unprecedented. We need a diet change because diabetes and obesity are on the increase. With most diets, you lose weight, but when it becomes worse than before you started the diet, you get beaten up psychologically. As I said before, it's all about life balance. If you're living a very healthy lifestyle and you're eating all the right foods, but you have a job that's causing a lot of stress, or you have a lot of stress in your home life, no matter how much you eat, the nutrients will not be absorbed into your bloodstream. Also, if you have a very good social life, but your financial situation is not good, that causes imbalance. It's all about getting every part of your life in balance. Just making small changes like drinking more water in a day, going for a 15-minute walk. It's the best exercise you could do. Maybe just sitting down for 10 minutes and thinking about nothing, giving your mind a rest. Find a job that you really like. Eat a little bit more vegetables. Make sure that your evening meal is the most sacred time of the day. That's the part of the day where you eat your fresh foods and vegetables and you're with your family and you sit down quietly, chewing your food, mindful eating. When people are told to eat a high plant-based diet, they get a little scared because they think, well, when I go out, what am I going to eat? What are the alternatives? So as you can see here, there are plenty of alternatives. You need to also be very careful not to eat too many high glycemic carbohydrates. That includes pasta and potatoes and rice, and you need to pile up the vegetables. As I said before, foods with a high glycemic load produce high levels of insulin, should be eaten in moderation, includes potatoes, pasta, rice, soft drinks. These will cause havoc with your insulin, which eventually leads to diabetes. So you can pile up on all the low glycemic load foods, which includes all fruits and vegetables. Glucose raises dopamine levels, makes you crazy and highly energetic. It's actually heroin for the body. You get robbed of all nutrients and it only ends up causing diabetes and early death. So glucose is the muscle's favorite fuel. It powers all of you. So the information I'm sharing with you now is very important to understand. So the glucose cannot get into the cells and muscles without a key. And the key is called insulin. This is a hormone that attaches to an insulin receptor, just like a key in a lock. And when the key goes into the lock, the glucose can enter the cell. It's like when you go to an open door and you put a key in and someone has put chewing gum in the lock. So you put in the key and cannot turn the key, and the chewing gum is the fat in the cells. The insulin can no longer signal. It is like a key that cannot do anything. As soon as you drain the fat out of the cell by some simple diet changes, the key starts working. The glucose comes into the cell, out of the blood glucose level decreases, and you do not need any medication anymore. There was a test done once on a baby. 9-month-old baby was put in a room with a strange woman. The woman sat across from the baby and gave the baby water with sugar, with a soother. At the end, this woman entered a room with 15 other women. One of the women in the room was the mother of the baby. A few minutes later, the baby was brought into the room, and this baby went straight to the woman who gave the sugar to the baby and ignored the mother. That's how addictive sugar is. We weren't supposed to, as human beings, eat meat every day. Originally, we ate meat once, maybe a month, twice a month, and the meat we ate was not processed like it is today. Meat contains a lot of antibiotics, and also the cattle are fed grains and they don't get to go outside and eat grass. So in fact, the meat we're eating today is not what you call meat anymore, and that's what's causing all of the health problems with a high meat diet today. The problem with sugar is that it dissolves and cannot see how much is going into things. This is called the hidden sugar. Chocolate, milk chocolate, is like an opiate and is very addictive. It stimulates opiate release in the brain, but a small amount of raw or pure chocolate is okay. Cheese is also very addictive, which has a dairy protein called casein. It's in a lot of baked goods and other foods. Casein breaks apart in your digestive tract into opiate-like compounds. They go into the blood and attach to the same opiate receptors that heroin attaches to, giving you that nice feel-good feeling. Cheese is loaded with calories, cholesterol, and linked to migraine, arthritis, digestive problems, and prostate cancer. We're also addicted to meat. When you are stressed, depressed, lonely, feeling betrayed, that's not the time we go off and steam vegetables. The part of the brain that responds to these drug-like foods is the same part of the brain that responds to intimacy, and when intimacy is wrenched away, these foods will take its place. So how do I change to a healthy diet? Do not change your diet, just check out the possibilities. Play with different types of food and write down your breakfast, lunch, dinner and the snacks you will be eating during the day. Try different recipes. Go on a 21-day test drive and see how it feels. Your tastes start changing. Fat desire starts to drop. After the 21 days, go back to the foods you used to eat. You may have lost your taste for them. So, do you recognise any of these celebrities? Alicia Silverstone, Ellen DeGeneres, Bill Clinton, the Williams girls, the tennis champions, and other American sports celebrities. They all made the shift to a mainly plant-eating diet. If we change our food habits, we can have a profound effect on the people around us, especially our children. Now there are in the world second and third generation junk food children. They don't even know what a vegetable looks like, and they think that a vegetable is tomato ketchup, and they also think that, and the number one vegetable in the States is French fries. So by changing our own diet, we can heal a lot of people around us. Thank you all for taking part in this lesson today. Next week's lesson is about inflammation. Inflammation is the cause of all diseases, diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. I'm going to teach you what's going on and how to counteract inflammation in your body.